welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, Carter Ames, Juliana McGrain with sports, Gretchen Carey with the community calendar, and Peter Brown with the weather. Thank you for joining us. In advance of the impending storm, Burlington's first town meeting of 2026 has been postponed to Wednesday, January 28th. Items on the warrant include funding for the Government Review Committee's community survey, a proposal to reallocate previously approved funds to the Overlook Park project, and the purchase of a sensory trailer for recreation programs. Town meeting members will also consider a proposed bylaw amendment that would prohibit cryptocurrency ATMs in Burlington, citing concerns over fraud and consumer scams. You can visit our website for a detailed look at these articles, along with a link to the full warrant. As always, town meeting will be live on BCAT's government channel and streamed on our government YouTube channel. In very sad news this week, Stephen Preston Sr. passed away on January 17. He was 86 years old. Preston was a longtime Burlington educator and the retired principal of the Pine Glen Elementary School, where he spent 4 decades serving the Burlington school community. Steve dedicated his life to education and believed deeply in creating a welcoming and supportive environment for every student. As principal at Pine Glen, he became a familiar and trusted presence to generations of Burlington's families, and his leadership helped shape both the school and the broader community. Following his retirement, the road adjacent to Pine Glen was renamed Preston Way in his honor, recognizing his decades of service and lasting impact in Burlington. Preston also served for many years as president of the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation, was an active member of the Teach India project, and mentored aspiring school principals throughout his career in the state. Burlington Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Eric Conti, reflected on Preston's impact on the community. Steve's legacy is defined by his unwavering dedication to his students, his kindness towards staff, and his deep roots in the Burlington community, Conti said. He was a leader who led with his heart, ensuring that every child who walked through the doors of Pine Glen felt seen, supported, and valued. The family encourages community members to carry forward Steve's spirit of the Pine Glen Pride through acts of kindness and continued support for local education. The full obituary is available on our website. This week's BNews Archive takes a look back at a previous story featuring Steve in his role as president of the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation. Let's take a look.
The Burlington Community Scholarship Fund, better known as the BCSF, is an organization that provides scholarship opportunities for residents. Since its inception, many graduating high school seniors, along with some adults in the community, have benefited from the funds raised. BNews spoke to President of the BCSF, Stephen Preston, to reflect on how the fund has evolved over the years.
The BCSF originated about 23 years ago. It was started by Joan Miles and her husband Steve. Joan is a former school committee member for a long time in the town of Burlington. As she was phasing herself out of the school committee, she became interested in the Scholarship Foundation, and she and people like Ernie D. Martinez, who is since deceased, but Ernie was the director of media services for the school department for a number of years. People like Brian Curtin, other community people got involved. They felt there was a need to raise funds for kids going to college. And so the foundation grew from an idea to an organization today that we have roughly about $1.3 million working to generate funds for scholarships.
Aside from individual donations, many businesses choose to donate as well.
Well, there are several major contributors to the fund. The law firm Reamer and Bronstein is one. Attorney Bob Buckley has been very generous to our foundation. Matter of fact, his law firm, they are partners with 2 of the classes in the Adopt a Class program. Many of the banks in town give us a sizable contribution. It's a real community effort. Almost every group in town gives us something every year.
How can students apply for scholarships, you might ask?
Students can apply for our scholarships in several ways. We're online now, so if they go to the Town of Burlington website, they'll be able to locate us through the school department. The counselors at Burlington High School make announcements. They tell the kids that what the timelines are, so that everybody has an opportunity to apply for the scholarships. We don't just limit it to Burlington High School children. Any senior in the town of Burlington, regardless of where they go to high school, can apply for our scholarships. And also each year we have 6 adult scholarships, and all of it is online.
Even in these tough economic times, the focus remains on what is truly important. To stay competitive with a rapidly modernizing world, our youth must have access to quality education. Unless higher education becomes more affordable to middle-class families, groups like the BCSF are the lifeline for thousands of young Americans who are ready to carry on the legacy of scholastic achievement which our nation has excelled at for so many years.
We are in peak flu season. In our recent community update, I sat down with the town's Director of Health and supervising town nurse to discuss this year's flu strain, steps residents can take to prevent illness, and what to do if you come down with the flu.
So if you think you have flu, prioritize nutrition, hydration, and resting. And with the flu, it comes a fever. If you have a fever, you could maybe take any over-the-counter meds. Always consult with your doctor.
Trails and roads are beginning to take shape at the Overlook Park as work continues on the project. Robert Paris has an update for us.
The Overlook Park project has made significant progress over the past few months. I recently spoke with Director of Parks and Recreation Brendan Egan about how it's moving along and what has changed since the last time we checked in.
Everything's changing. It's really going great. The first part that I think we were here about a month or so ago, they were removing some trees, really starting the project then. But since we've had trails laid out, ledge removed, the development of the road going to the top of the hill, it's really starting to take shape. We're excited.
The park looks completely different from our last visit. Brendan explains that a new hill is being installed, along with several new utilities and features now taking shape.
They've been able to take ledge that they had to remove on the site and build retaining walls around the trails with them. So that's been happening. They've cleared the old playground, getting ready to start installing the new playground. And then they've also started to develop some of the stormwater features here on site.
Contractors are right on schedule, with a late summer, early fall grand opening planned.
The idea that this is going to be a beautiful outdoor recreation area that is fully accessible in this section of town, I think it will rival Wildwood Park for its beauty and what it offers to the community.
We are so pleased with the progress that's been made. It's really been a transformation from the use of the property before to what residents are going to see when the project is complete.
From the construction site at Overlook Park, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
A new Italian restaurant coming to Burlington is already gaining attention beyond town borders. Sorella, set to open in the former Tuscan kitchen space at the district, has been named on Boston Magazine's list of the most anticipated restaurant openings of 2026. The restaurant is expected to open later this winter and will offer a refreshed take on Italian dining, featuring top scratch-made pastas, an updated design, expanded bar space, and private dining areas. While the concept is changing, Sorella will remain part of the Tuscan brand's family. Renovations are currently underway at the site. The Middlesex Sheriff's Office is warning residents about scams involving fake arrest warrants and demands for payment. Officials say scammers pose as law enforcement, claim residents have missed court dates, and pressure them to pay fines using cash kiosks, digital currency, or gift cards. Sheriff Peter J. Katusian says courts and law enforcement will never handle matters this way and urges residents to verify any such claims with the local police department. If one of your New Year's resolutions was to stay active this winter, you might not have to look much further than the Burlington Mall. The mall has become a popular spot for health and wellness with its morning walking group known as the Mall Crawlers. It's a simple way to get moving, stay social, and keep that resolution going even when the weather outside isn't cooperating.
Mall walking is a popular indoor exercise activity, and the Burlington Mall is no exception, with their own walking group affectionately known as the Mall Crawlers.
So the Mall Crawlers, they're the group of mall walkers we see here every morning. And, you know, it really feels like such a community. You know, there are people of all different ages that come, but there are certain people that we see every single day. And they've all developed relationships with each other here. And it just kind of, you know, adds a little bit more of a special feeling to the mall. You know, people come here to shop, and that's wonderful. We love that. But the people that come here every day and kind of build these relationships is just another special part that not everybody knows about.
For our health and for keeping us going at our age, you know, with the people we walk with. But health is wealth, and we got to keep it going, you know. And we walk every day, and we talk with each other, and we go out to lunch, we go out to coffee sometimes.
I used to work out and back when it used to be Executive Park, and one of the ladies introduced me to walking, and I came over here and with her, and that was 20 years ago. And now it's a great alternative for the winter coming inside. I had a weight problem, and the doctor told me, he says, you need to do some exercising. So I went to nutritionist, and I took up walking, and here I am.
I've been doing it since 2008, and it's safer inside because I don't walk well. So, and I enjoy the company. And also, it's good for me. My doctor keeps telling me.
I've been walking here at the mall since 1989, at which point I had a heart attack. And this was recommended very much by the doctors. So I've started walking every day.
I found out and I started coming 18 years. Fun, health, fight company, go to the coffee shop and talk.
I like talking to everybody. You know, you meet a lot of people down here. And it's funny, the people that you meet, some of them, you even like come from the same town that you came from originally, and you wouldn't know otherwise.
The mall opens for mall walking an hour before the mall opens each day, so it's usually 9 o'clock a.m. The first or most common entrance to use would be the Legal Seafoods entrance. If the mall is closed for bad weather, then the mall walking will be canceled as well.
A favorite place for health and well-being. From the Burlington Mall, I'm BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak.
What a great way to stay active while indoors, and it may be needed as we're expecting a major winter storm to roll in. Let's send it over to Peter Brown for the latest on what could be the biggest storm we've seen in years, right after our community calendar.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. On January 28th from 3 to 6 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a virtual reality open gameplay for families. No registration is required. For more information, go to their website. On February 1st from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., the Burlington Scholarship Foundation will be having a character breakfast at Tony C's with Mickey and Minnie. For more information and to register, go to the following website. Through February 15th, the Help Us will be having their 6th annual Teddy Bear Drive. For more information, go to our website. For more community calendar events, go to bcattv.org, burlingtonpubliclibrary.org, and burlingtonrecreation.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
It's flu season. You're probably planning to get your kids their flu shots, but remember to get yours too. Vaccinating your family is the best way to protect you and your kids from the flu. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Get your flu shot today.
Well, hello everyone. This is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. Here we are heading in towards the end of January, if you can believe it already. I know it's hard to believe that winter is actually flying by, and I know for those of us who really like, again, mild weather in the winter, this is unfortunately not going to be the forecast period for us. As you can see, starting out our period on Friday, we're going to be seeing temperatures struggling to get out of the 20s, and yes, that low temperature going into Saturday morning, you are not seeing, I didn't forget to put a number in there, that is going to be the goose egg, 0 going into Saturday morning. And it is going to get even colder than that as we head in towards the weekend and introduce the chance of our first major snowstorm. Actually, the first really big snowstorm that we've seen here in the Burlington area in quite a few years. So not 100% confident on that, but that seems to be what the weather models are trending towards. And of course, as we get towards the end of the period, getting in towards January 29th, we should be seeing temperatures at this time of the year in the upper 30s. And interestingly enough, I want to let you know, this is the coldest time of the year. Our average highs don't get any lower than this. So even though we do have some brutal cold to go ahead, we are on the upswing from here on out. Our average highs are going to start getting higher now as we start going in towards the second half of the winter. And of course, as we get closer to the end of January, you're definitely noticing those later sunsets out there. So even though it's got that chilly feel, at least hopefully you're getting out of work and there's a little bit of daylight still left. So that's some good news. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at what the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us in terms of temperatures and precipitation over the next 7 to 10 days. Looking at this map right now, they are expecting us to have near normal precipitation. Again, that is going to be dependent on how much we get out of this big storm that is going to be traversing the southern states. We're going to have to be seeing how far north it comes up here towards New England. It could give us a pretty good thumping of snow, but very cold, so a very cold, dry snow. So that may keep our precipitation amounts about average, just like this map says, oddly enough. As we look at our temperature map, this is definitely something we've been seeing going back really towards October now. We are going to be seeing a very high chance of below average temperatures coming up. And as you can see, very easy to see, really the eastern 2/3 of the nation. And the only place, it's not really indicative here on this map, but if you can believe it, when we get into Sunday, when it is bitterly cold here in New England, if you're down in southern Florida, the temperatures are going to be pushing up near 90 degrees, if you can believe it. So complete departure from what it's going to be like here in the Burlington area. And I'm not going to spend any more time on that because I know it's depressing to think that they're having midsummer weather while we are having bone-chillingly cold weather here in the Burlington area. So let's go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And you'll notice, again, starting out up here on Friday, chilly out there. That high of 27 is probably going to be happening early in the morning. We're going to be dipping down by the time we get towards the afternoon. If you're getting out of work around 4 or 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon, the temperatures are going to be well down into the lower teens by then. Saturday, it is going to be sunny, blustery, temperatures struggling to get out of the lower teens, and yes, below 0 as we go into Sunday morning. Now, Sunday and Monday, we've put a little bit of a chance again of the snow and wind on here. This is going to be a giant storm impacting the south, and right now each progressive run of our weather models is showing us a pretty good chance of a fairly good walloping of snow here in southern New England. Right now, I would put a conservative estimate at least between 6 to 10 inches of snow. Of course, that's still going to be highly dependent upon the track, and this is going to be a very slow-moving storm, so that could help to really tally those totals up as we get in towards maybe the storm not even ending till late Monday night, maybe even early Tuesday morning. So that's how long of a storm at least they're looking at for right now. After the storm leaves us behind, though, it is going to be chilly mornings out there, down near 0 again, highs only in the 20s on Tuesday, moderating a little bit as we get towards the tail end of the weekend of Wednesday and Thursday into the mid-30s before what looks like another really cold shot of air for next weekend coming in. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
All right. And once the snow starts falling, a lot of people may be settling in for a long weekend indoors, just in time for a big playoff matchup for the New England Patriots on Sunday. Up next, Juliana McGrain has a look at all our local sports action.
Hey everyone, I'm Juliana McGrain with this week's Sports Report. Both girls and boys basketball teams were at home against Stoneham, and we have the highlights.
The girls and boys basketball team hosted league rivals Stoneham at the Vanilla Gym on the 16th. The girls were up first. Burlington trailed by 3 after the opening quarter, 11-8. Stoneham added 10 points in the second, while the Devils scored 5, sending the Spartans into halftime with a 21-13 lead. Burlington came out strong in the second half, cutting into the deficit with 10 points of their own. But Stoneham stayed in front, leading 29-23 heading into the fourth. With 8.4 seconds remaining, Burlington Burlington trailed by 3, 34-31. Junior Aaron Riley had a chance to tie it at the buzzer, but the shot came up short. Stoneham held on for the 34-31 win. The boys took the floor and led by 4 after the first quarter, 15-11. Stoneham closed the gap in the second, but Burlington maintained a slim 24-22 advantage at the break. The Devils opened things up in the third, poured in 22 points to take a 46-38 lead. Stoneham rallied late, tying the game at 48 with just over 5 minutes remaining. From there, Burlington regained control, closing out the game and sending the crowd home happy with a 63-59 victory.
The girls secured a win against Winchester at home, and we were there.
It was a home game for the girls' basketball team as they hosted Winchester. Burlington held a slim 11-8 lead after the first quarter, and the game was tied at 18 at the half. The Devils regained the lead in the third, 37-34. Burlington sealed the win in the fourth, outscoring Winchester 7-4 and closing out a 44-38 victory.
The boys team had a huge test on the road at undefeated Winchester, where they picked up a close win of 57-54. Seniors Charlie Poehler scored 20 points, Maddie Gray with 17, and junior Leon Siscondi had 10. The girls are now 5-6, and the boys are 8-2, with both of the squads will be on the road in Watertown on Friday. On the ice, girls ice hockey had 3 games this past week, winning their third game of the season at home against Stoneham 3-1. On the 17th. Then they were outscored 7-1 on the road in Woburn on MLK Day. Burlington returned home against Masco in a thrilling game that led to a team making a comeback.
Girls hockey was on home ice taking on Masconomet. Masco scored once in each of the first 2 periods to take a 2-0 lead. Burlington responded in the third as 7th grader Aubrey Costa cut the deficit to 1. Moments later, junior Shayla Coker tied the game at 2. Burlington takes this one by a final score of 4-2.
After a week off, the boys were back to it on the road in Woburn on the 21st. After 3 periods, the game was tied 1-1 in overtime, and the Devils lost in a 2-1 heartbreaker, ending their 8-game winning streak. Burlington is now 9-2 on the season and will return home Saturday to face Winchester. Both the girls and boys indoor track teams' regular season may be over, but many competitors are still ahead. Last weekend, they competed in the Cal Paris Relays on the 17th in Boston. Top performers for the girls' team were the 4x400 relay team and Cassidy Hanlon in shot put. Senior Ryan Brooks secured first place in the long jump for the boys' team, and Augustin Perkins came in second at shot put. You can check out the full results on our website. The wrestling team traveled down to Middletown, Connecticut for the Coulter Albee Classic last weekend. Burlington finished 14th out of 21 teams. Max Schwartzman placed 3rd overall, where Cameron Brownell finished 4th. Davi Tonani had 2 wins on the day, while Kai Gong and David Vashovsky and Josh Levitt each had a win for the Devils. They are now 11-8 on the season. In swimming, the boys team had their 2nd win of the season with a 91-76 score on the road against the combined Stoneham-Melrose team. On the 20th, Shay Woodbury, Brendan Ruiz, Tommy Cullen, and Bailey Turnquist each placed first in their events. Burlington is now 2-3 on the season and will have another meet on the road in Arlington on Thursday night. The girls gymnastics team had a meet on the 19th with the Stoneham Spartans at home, where they defeated their opponent 132-125. Top performer from the event were Yvette Conan with a 9.1 on vault and an 8.7 on bars. Hannah Lee had an 8.7 on the balance beam and an 8.9 on the floor exercise. Burlington is now 3-2 on the season after a 138-136 loss in Wilmington on the 21st. The top performer was Hannah Lee in 4 events. For more coverage and full results, visit our sports section at bcattv.org and follow us on X. That's all for this week. I am Julianne McGreen. Back to you guys in the studio.
This week for our Red Devil Shoutout, we're shining a light on the accomplishments of Lauren Scalia, who set 3 field hockey records this past season. Robert Paris has the story.
Junior Lauren Scalia continues to make history on the national stage for the Burlington field hockey program. Scalia posted 2 of the top single-game save totals in the country this season. She recorded 45 saves against Winchester, ranking 5th nationally for a single game, and followed that with 44 saves against Watertown, the 6th highest total in the nation. Over the course of the 2025 season, Scalia finished with 257 saves, the most in a single season in program history. That total ranks her 11th nationally. Scalia said the performances weren't a surprise, noting that matchups against teams like Winchester and Watertown are always challenging.
We play really good teams, so I'm not surprised because Winchester and Watertown are very strong teams, so I face a lot of shots against them. So it's nice that it happened.
Head coach Anne-Marie McNeil credited Scalia's success to her strong understanding of the game and her ability to stay composed under pressure.
Her game IQ is incredible, and the work she's put in over the years. That level of skill and game understanding doesn't happen overnight. That's something she worked hard at and truly deserves. All the success is entirely hers because she put in the work.
And Scalia says she's not done yet, with her sights set on continuing to raise the bar and break more of her own records in the future.
I want to keep making as many saves as possible. I train a ton in the off season, so it's just what I love to do. So got to stay in shape for it. I'd probably try to beat myself in my season record, but pretty much just leading the team again to do whatever I can from the net.
Congratulations, Lauren. Another record in the books and hopefully more next season. This is the Red Devil Shoutout.
Our photo of the week was sent in by Alita Charbonneau. Alita shared this beautiful snowy scene along Peach Orchard Road, calling it Winter is Back. Thank you for the photo, Alita. Don't forget to send us your photos. The photos could be of something you see around town, on vacation, or even photos of your family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting, would like to share. Send them to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. We also have our photo of the year to announce. As in the past years, voting was held on Facebook, with an additional link on our website to encourage even more participation. Viewers were asked to vote for their top 3 photos. Honorable mentions go to Jennifer O'Riordan for her photo of a delicate dandelion, and Jean Sotheby for capturing a cardinal perched on a snowy branch. This year's winning photo was sent in by Jane Lynch. The photo features her dog, Hudson, stopping to smell skunk cabbage along the wetland trail at Mary Cummings Park. Congratulations, Jane. A reminder that all government meetings scheduled for Monday have been canceled, including town meeting, which has been rescheduled for Wednesday, January 28th. We leave you this week with a look back at the life and legacy of Steve Preston through his years as principal and president of the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation. I know Steve would want to see the Patriots win Sunday. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, I'm Steve Preston, and I'm president of the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation.
Please welcome Steve Preston, ladies and gentlemen. Steve, how are you? Good to see you.
Jack, how are you? Thank
Good.
you. And thank you again for the support that you have always given to the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation. And hopefully we're going to have another great year and a great success with our telethon.
You're the best. I love you all. Thank you very much.